My name's Aaron. I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and this is the Lambs Fitness programming model. So I'm going to talk you through what we've been building over the last 4 years of coaching over 250 people. For those of you that are clients, this is going to be your how-to of using your program. Okay, so we're going to go through each page and each subsection, and then what we'll do is we'll have some other videos telling you exactly how to use different elements. So give me a second, let me switch screens. So we're going to start off with everything. I try to do everything on Google Sheets or like an Excel sheet. All right. For now, on this, all right. When it gets sent to you, this is what it will look like when you open it. Okay. So you got the program set up. Okay. Pages. So a little bit of background about Google spreadsheet or Excel sheets. Down the bottom, you got the actual sheet names themselves. So down this bottom section, you got the sheet names themselves, and then you've got your sort of like search functionalities at the top as well, cell selections, that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm using this on PC. I've tried to make it as friendly for mobile as possible. Okay, so you can also use this on mobile if you are a client that's doing that. So this is your program setup page with information about yourself. All right, so you got client profile, fitness and sporting history. You've got your preferences questionnaire, and then you've got the completed for ParkU forms, client training agreements, and program setup page to make sure that's done. So if you're a coach and you've come across this is kind of our layout. This is how we run things. Next page we've got along is our periodizations, okay, or periodization plan. This is like a real big massive zoom out, okay, over a year. All right, so it's kind of like a calendar. We've got this set up in week numbers, so it correlates with the microcycle week numbers for formulas and so on later on. But what you basically need to know is you've got a calendar control section, which is this bit here in this section. Okay, and this will, when you put in certain things into here, it will automatically log and code and control your progressive overload. You've then got your event section below that. So for example, if I'm doing an event, this is where I would store it and then go from there. And like I said, we'll come back to all these and show you how individual one of these work in more detail for each individual page. We'll do a video on each page so you can really dive into how it works. That way, if you are a client and you are interested in learning how to go about mastering this entire spreadsheet, then you can. Next on the list, we've got protocols. So protocols are what I classify as warm-ups, cool-downs, activating body structures, mobilizations, and static stretching. Okay, so you got your generic, or I say recommendation for warm-ups, which is to follow something called a ramp procedure, which is what this is following. So you've got raising your heart rate with how long for and notes on the end. You've got the category of exercise that you can select, exercise. The video will then populate automatically. There will be no weight in this normally for activating body structures, mobilizing joints. You've then got cooldowns and static stretches, as I said. Okay. Alright, next, which is the big bulk of what the program is going to be for you. Okay, we've got the microcycle week master sheet. So this is where a coach would put your plan into, alright, or you would create your plan and then work from. Okay, so in here it kind of breaks down. Alright, so the way it works is you've got 1A and 1B. 1A stands for cardiovascular training, effectively. So things like long distance, long steady state running or high intensity interval training, whatever category, intervals, heart rate, whatever you want to put into that. That's kind of the way it formats. Okay. You'll notice that this page in particular falls into what the session is. Okay, what day the session's on. If it's a cardiovascular workout or a strength workout. You've then got category of exercise. Okay, which pulls from a list of different categories for what the exercise is. All right. You've then got what the exercise is, which won't populate unless the first field's open. Filled. So the first field is filled with cardiovascular. It will then populate the second row in, so you can pull from that information. It's just easy as deleting it. All right. Then you've got your duration, how long you've been going for, and this has to be entered as the format that is presented. You've got your distance in miles, so when you input your distance, it will calculate out your minute per mile pace. Your kilometres also fills, and so does your minute per kilometres as well. You then can put in an RPE of how difficult that activity was, and we can include a progression rule so that when we come back into next week. When we create next week's plan, it automatically should increase your load, distance, or the duration of activity, depending on what type of progression rule you've put in place. Okay. Moving across from there, you've got the session plan. So for example, if I'm getting you to do intervals, this is where I put the interval information into. So I want you to do 400 meter repeats 4 times, 600 meter repeats 4 times, and so on. All them sort of session plan notes go in there, and then the note section is for you as a client or person, a user, to input your information into. And then lastly on the list, you've got total loads. Okay, so this calculates your entire load for that day for both running and or strength training. Okay, coming down into strength training section. Okay, this is probably most of you are going to find that this is the element you use most. Same thing, you've got category of exercise, you've got what the exercise is, it then populates in a video if there is one. If there isn't a video, it will say that video is needed to be created. You've then got the weight that's being determined, so say 40 kilos to begin with, 3 sets, and we're going to do it for 5 reps. Okay, obviously it's just a rough idea. The progression rule is we're going to put whatever one, so reps, sets, and then load, like so. We've got rest times that we can put in as well, and so on. Alright, what this then does, okay, in here, alright, is allows us then to create the actual week itself. So when I click at the top, create next microcycle week, it will run a little script. It'll probably ask you for permissions when you first run the script. It shouldn't, but if it does, what the script is what the script is trying to ask to do is quite complex. But in other words, what we're trying to do with it is keep everything in house, in the sense of it only accesses this Google Sheet. The script looks at there's many different types of scripts that are being run in the background for this entire program sheet, but the one that primarily is being used for creating the sheet is it duplicates this sheet, and then it applies some rules for your weight increase, set increase, reps increase. Alright, so that's basically what's happening behind the scenes. After that, okay, once you've got this inputted, okay, and you have multiple weeks of sheets, and you want to record 1 rep maxes or whatever it is, you've then got a strength testing log that you can open, and this will pull the information from the week number, so microcycle week number 1. It'll pull that information, compare it to any other previous week. So if you've got 50 weeks of information in there, it'll pull all the previous weeks and then log your best efforts in there. So if I'm trying to work on my back squat 1 rep max, this is a good place to put me. It will automatically record that, so I can see how it works. And like I said, we'll go into more detail on how this kind of all interlinks, because it does fairly well. Then we've got the cardiovascular testing log. Okay, so we can input date, category, so if it's running, rowing, whatever it is, what type of test it was, the duration, the distance, the power, the calories, and again this compares from all your events in that field, right? So if you've done a running, you're trying to run a 5 miler or 5k PB, you can put it in there on January 1st and then retest it on January 1st the next year, and if you've improved, it automatically tells you that as well in the percentage change. Alright, and then the last page is total load. So this is us being able to look at the year as a whole of your entire training, look at what your cardiovascular volume is for duration and distance. So you can see here it's got time and distance under the headers for cardiovascular, and then for strength training it's got weight and reps. So it will tell you how many reps you've done and how much weight you've done over that period of time as well in that week. All right, really useful information for planning progressions or deloads or whatever else you're looking to do, simulation weeks, whatever it is. You can pretty much do all this from this one plan. All right. Fairly long video. I know I've kind of rambled on a little bit here. Like I said, this is very comprehensive strength or programming for the exercise element of your fitness journey. If you do have any questions, pop them into the comments into the YouTube video, or send them to me directly if you have my details. I'm more than willing to help anyone that comes across it and is interested in it. And if you are interested in finding this plan, it'll be on our website for a free download for however long it is on there as a free download for. We might keep it on there indefinitely. So I hope you find this useful, and if you do find it useful, give me a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I will look forward to seeing you in the breakdown of each page.